Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Ellis Alexander, and this year I am the president of the St. Charles Parish School Board. Tonight, we have Hornville High senior Allison Anderson will lead us in a prayer before the pledge. Allison is a member of the Hornville High School Band, Color Guard, Beta Club, National Honor Society, and Spanish Honor Society. Allison has earned magna cum laude for 2 years, cum laude for 1 year, and color guard captain for 2 years. Following Ms. Anderson, District 6 Board Member Mrs. Becky Weber will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Allison. Now you can give us a prayer.
Please bow your heads. Lord, we thank you for bringing us together tonight. We are very thankful for these students, and as we congratulate them on and recognize them for their success in their respective groups and classes. We ask that you bring us safely home, nice and dry, and we ask this in your most blessed, gracious name. Amen.
She done it already. Thank you very much, Miss Allison. Tonight's meeting is called to order. Let the record show that all board members are present, as well as the superintendent and our executive secretary. The first item on the agenda is 2.01, Louisiana School Board Recognition Month Resolution, and Mr. John Smith will read that resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Alexander. School Board Member Training Resolution. Whereas each member of the City and Parish School Board shall receive a minimum of 6 hours. Pardon? Huh?
It's not the right one. This one.
It turned on me. Yeah.
There you go.
Sorry about that. Louisiana School Board Recognition Month, January 2024. Whereas the mission of public schools is to meet the diverse educational needs of all children and empower them to become competent, productive contributors to a democratic society and ever-changing world. And whereas school board members are committed to children and believe that all children can be successful learners and that the best education is tailored to the individual needs of the child. And whereas local school board members work closely with parents, education professionals, and other community members to create the educational vision we want our students to have, and whereas local school board members are responsible for ensuring the structure that provides a solid foundation for our school system, and whereas local school board members are strong advocates for public education and are responsible for communicating the needs of the school district to the public and the public's expectation to the district. Now therefore, be it resolved, we do hereby declare and proclaim January 2024 as School Board Recognition Month. We urge all citizens to join in recognizing the dedication and hard work of local school board members and working with them to mold an educational system that meets the needs of both today's and tomorrow's children. I move approval.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. It's been motion and second to approve the School Board Recognition Month resolution. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President, I would like to just make a short comment. I'd like to take a moment of personal privilege to express our gratitude regarding this proclamation. Our school system and community stakeholders are sincerely thankful for each of the board members' dedicated service to our community. As citizens of St. Charles Parish, you continue taking on very complex and demanding challenges while serving all students and employees and representing your communities. We understand the incredible effort that goes into governing our school system, and we want to acknowledge and show appreciation for your personal sacrifices. As school board members, you play an essential role in ensuring local control over our public schools, and we're honored to work alongside you toward our mission of developing empathetic, involved, and productive citizens. To our previous past president, Mr. Art Oquan, I want to express my admiration for your leadership on a remarkably successful year serving as a school board president this past year. Under your guidance, we have witnessed numerous positive changes, innovative initiatives, and a strong commitment to excellence. Your efforts to increase employee compensation and maintain cost-effective and fair insurance premiums have been instrumental in attracting, recruiting, and retaining the best employees for our system. Additionally, your leadership has helped us complete major repairs following Hurricane Ida, while also modernizing our buildings. You and our board have prioritized safety by increasing the number of resource officers in our schools, strengthening the safety footprint of all facilities, and adding additional security cameras to all our campuses. Furthermore, under your guidance, we continue to remove barriers to student opportunities, added classes to our satellite center, recognize a financially self-sustaining LaFon Performing Arts Center, and increased district and school performance scores, highlighted by 2 high schools receiving an A rating. Furthermore, under your guidance and our school board's leadership, our system has received numerous distinguished recognition, both by our employees, students, and our system as a whole, including but not limited to NISH's ranking as St. Charles Parish Public Schools as the number 3 best school district in Louisiana. It should be number 1. But number 3. These significant accomplishments reflect you and this board's commitment to excellence and our mission. Thank you all for your support and continued commitment to our students, employees, retirees, families, and community. As a small token of our appreciation and memento, here's a photo that was taken on the first day for our employees at the LaFon Performing Arts Center when you warned our employees not to quack like a duck. And to our current president, Mr. Ellis Alexander, congratulations. We look forward to continued collaboration and progress under your leadership. May your term continue to bring positive changes and improvements to our system, benefiting our students, our employees, and our entire school system community. Your dedication is also inspiring, and we believe you will make a significant impact on the coming year with your other board members. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, Dr. Arlen. Thank you, Dr. Arlen, for all of those kind words. Any more discussion on School Board Recognition Month resolution? If not, please cast your vote. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Oakland. Please cast your vote. That resolution is approved with 1 abstention.
That was not an extension. I
That
don't-
was a mistake.
That was a mistake. That was not an extension. Yeah.
If
That was a yes.
somebody wants to make a motion to revote, we can do that.
We don't have to revote.
Okay, all right. That resolution was approved unanimously.
I made the motion.
The next item on the agenda is Louisiana School Board Member Training Resolution. Mr. Art O'Quinn will read that resolution.
I'd be honored to, Mr. Alexander. School Board Member Training Resolution. Whereas each member of a city and parish school board shall receive a minimum of 6 hours of training and instruction as required by Act 705 of the 2011 Louisiana Legislature. And whereas this training and instruction shall consist of school laws of the state, laws governing the powers, duties, and responsibilities of city and parish school boards, educational trends, research, and policy. And whereas such instruction may be received from an institution of higher education in the state, from instruction sponsored by the State Department of Education, or by an in-service training program conducted by a city or parish school board central office, or the Louisiana School Board Association, or sessions provided by the National School Boards Association. And now therefore be it resolved that it become public record that all members of the St. Charles Parish School Board have successfully received and well exceeded the 6 hours of required training. And I move adoption.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. O'Quinn and Mr. Suffering for the second. Is there any discussion on the board member training resolution?
Mr. President, if I could just say one thing real quick. You know, this resolution is stated every year, but I go throughout this entire state, and there are not many boards that exceed the amount of training that our board, St. Charles Parish Public School Board, actually conducts in 1 year, well over 20 hours, each of these board members. And tonight, even though we can't shake their individual hands because they don't want to shake their own hands, but they are getting a certificate from LSBA for their dedicated service and the number of training hours that they well exceeded the 20 hours. So if you don't mind, please join us in congratulating them.
Thank you, Dr. Orling. Any other discussion on school board member training resolution? If not, please cast your votes. Louisiana School Board Member Training Resolution is unanimously approved. Next item on the agenda is Year 2024 Career and Technical Education Month Proclamation. Mrs. Karen Boudreau will read that proclamation.
Career and Technical Education Month Proclamation. Whereas the month of February 2024 has been designated Career and Technical Education Month by the Association for Career and Technical Education. And whereas profound economic and technological changes in our society are rapidly reflected in the structure and nature of work, thereby placing new and additional responsibilities on our education system. And whereas career and technical education provides Americans with a school-to-careers connection, and it is the backbone of a strong, well-educated workforce, which fosters productivity in business and industry and contributes to America's leadership in the international marketplace. And whereas career and technical education give high school students experience in practical, meaningful applications of basic skills such as reading, writing, and mathematics, thus improving the quality of their education, motivating potential dropouts, and giving all students leadership opportunities in their fields and in their community. And whereas career and technical education offers individuals lifelong opportunities to learn new skills, which provide them with career choices and potential satisfaction. And whereas the ever-increasing cooperative efforts of career and technical educators, business and industry stimulate the growth and vitality of our local economy and that of the entire nation by preparing graduates for career fields forecast to experience the largest and fastest growth in the next decade. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the members of the St. Charles Parish School Board, in conjunction with the Association for Career and Technical Education, hereby proclaim the month of February 2024 as Career and Technical Education Month, and urge all citizens to become familiar with the services and benefits offered by the career and technical education programs in this community, and to support and participate in these programs to enhance their individual work skills and productivity. I move that this be adopted.
Thank you, Ms. Boudreaux. Is there?
Second.
Second by Mr. Cody. Thank you. Any discussion on the 2024 Career and Technical Education Month proclamation?
Mr. President, if you mind, if you don't mind, can I have Mr. Ronnie Seal, a curriculum specialist for School of Career, say a few words?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ortling, and valued school board members, for highlighting and affirming your support of our school's career and technical education programs by proclaiming February as Career and Technical Education Month. As you know, we do work relentlessly to ensure we are providing up-to-date CTE programs that prepare our students for the high-wage, high-demand careers that align with economic and workforce projections so that our students can be positioned for fulfilling and prosperous lives. In order to do this, our career and technical educators use rigorous industry-level curriculum to prepare high school students for industry-based certifications. And in order to prepare for industry-level certifications intended for adults, students are participating in meaningful and relevant experiences like building accessible ramps for community members, developing and pitching business ideas, developing marketing materials for clients, designing and building model bridges, designing and building robots to complete specified tasks, writing new computer programs, planning and implementing menus for special events, producing live streaming programs, learning life-saving techniques, and the list goes on and on. Experiences like these in our CTE courses provide our students opportunities to practice the important success skills that employers value, including critical thinking, communication, problem solving, collaboration, and creativity and innovation. On behalf of all of our career and technical educators in St. Charles Parish, I would like to thank the executive staff and the school board members for supporting this proclamation, which helps to show that you recognize the vital role our career and technical programs play in our schools, our community, and most importantly, the lives of our students. Now, I would just go off script for just one moment and say that as good as we are at this now, the best is yet to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Seal. Thank you, Mr. Seal. Is there any more discussion on this proclamation? If not, please cast your vote. That proclamation is approved unanimously. Next item on our agenda is National School Counseling Week proclamation. Mrs. Becky Weber will read that proclamation.
Whereas school counselors are employed in schools to help students to reach their full potential. And whereas school counselors are actively committed to helping students explore their abilities, their strengths, their interests, and talents at these traits to career awareness and development. And whereas school counselors help parents focus ways to further the educational potential and social growth of their children. And whereas school counselors work with teachers and other educators to help students explore their potential and set realistic goals for themselves. Whereas school counselors seek to identify and utilize community resources that can enhance and complement the comprehensive school counseling programs and help students to become productive members of society. And whereas comprehensive developmental school counseling programs are considered an integral part of the education process that enables all students to achieve success in school. Now, therefore, be resolved that we, the members of the St. Charles Parish School Board, hereby proclaim February 5th through the 9th, 2024, as National School Counseling Week in St. Charles Parish Public Schools, and urge all students, as well as their parents and guardians, to become familiar and become with and utilize the essential and supported services offered by our school counselors. I would like to make a motion to approve this.
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Weber, and thank you, Mr. Suffren. Is there any discussion on the School Counseling Week proclamation?
Mr. President, I'd like to invite Dr. Alice Cryer-Sumler to the podium, our school counselor and student support specialist, to say a few words about our counselors and those in attendance tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Ortling, school board members, community. Thank you for this opportunity to recognize and celebrate our school counselors during National School Counseling Week, February the 5th through the 9th, 2024. Our counselors have been working hard throughout this year and over the last 2 years with Hatching Results Consulting to transform our school counseling programs so counselors can spend their days working with students, providing Tier 1 classroom lessons, Tier 2 small group sessions, and Tier 3 sessions responding to the urgent needs of our students. During their special week in February, the American School Counselors Association theme is School Counseling, Standards-Based and Student-Focused. During this week, we want to focus public attention on the unique contributions of school counselors within the United States school system, but especially in St. Charles Parish Public Schools. We want to highlight the tremendous impact our school counselors are having, helping our students eliminate barriers to achieve academics, personal social successes, as well as support their plans for careers after high school. At this time, I would like to recognize the school counselors and their administrators who are here tonight by name and school. Please stand when I call your name. Bonnie Mays, Destrehan High School. Janine Taylor, Destrehan High School. Dr. Frank Clavel, Luling Elementary School, and his principal, Carolyn Bowie Cotton. Lori Gonzalez, Mimosa Park Elementary School, and her principal, Angie Butler. Katie Gabriel, St. Rose Elementary School, and her principal, Shonda Harris. Shantranese Davis, Albert Cammon Middle School, and her principal, Lasan Porter. Jasmine Dorsey, Raymond K. Smith Middle School. Dr. Iman Innabut, Yule J. Landry Educational Programs. Our school counselors are positive influences in our schools for our students, faculty, and families through their leadership, advocacy, collaboration, and systemic change. We appreciate our school counselors. They are helping our students dream big with standards-based lessons and student focus. We want to thank you again tonight for acknowledging them. They work hard every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cryer-Sumler. Thank you. Any more discussion? If not, please cast your vote. The National School Counseling Week proclamation passes unanimously. United Ways campaign. Public Information Coordinator, Special Programs Director Alexis Cannon will present to the board the results of the 2023 School Systems United Way campaign.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me address the board in regards to our 2023 United Way campaign. Once again, we had a successful campaign due to all of our stakeholders coming together to benefit our community. 1,011 employees donated through payroll deduction or by direct gift, and many other employees participated in special events. Our 2023 total is $99,148.46, which is approximately $1,000 more than the previous year's campaign. Special thanks to parents and students, participation in Jean Days and Penny Wars, and thanks to employees for giving so generously from their hearts. At this time, Superintendent Dr. Ken Ortling and Board President Mr. Ellis Alexander will present United Way's Executive Director John Diaz with a check, and then afterwards Mr. Diaz will make some comments.
Obviously, I'm here to say thank you and really show our appreciation for the United Way campaign. And as Ms. Cannon said, record results. Man, I can't thank you enough for that. But I'd be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to both thank and remind anyone listening that that's really only part of the relationship we are fortunate to benefit from with our great school system. We collaborate with school system folks from everything from early childhood education programs to weekend meals programs for students to our community college to the Bridge Run. So the campaign allows us to do what we do, but just as much the collaboration, the volunteerism, the support from the leadership of our school system really allows us to do those things and do what we're all here for, which is to make our community better. Secondly, I very briefly want to thank Dr. Ortling. A lot of folks know, but some don't. He served as one of our campaign co-chairs this year. So again, gave his own time to help the United Way campaign. So thank you for that. And lastly, I realized as I was sitting here, I've been in my role now for 15 years with United Way. And when I first started here, I got to meet and was impressed with leadership of the school system, teachers, counselors, everyone affiliated with it through collaborating on programs. Now, skip 15 years later, I'm a parent of 3 children in the school system. So, I get to now see things from that sort of side. And where I'm going with that is I am as equally as impressed and in fact, even more so with the commitment you all have, the leadership and the product, if you will, that we have in a great school system here. So on a personal note, I want to thank all of you for that as well. So thank you.
Next item on the agenda is board and superintendent's recognition.
Students. High school students were named to an LHSAA All-Academic Composite Team. Kylie Bierford. Jackson Connor. Trenton Mitchell. Hahnville High School, Braden Chacon. School system students placed first in the Share the Dream essay contest sponsored by the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Commemorative Organization. Destrehan High School's Momin Mahmood. Albert Cammon Middle School's Justice Robinson. St. Rose Elementary School's Abdul Amin. Employees. Lakewood Elementary School employee was chosen from among all first-year teachers in the district as the St. Charles Parish Public Schools 2023-2024 New Teacher of the Year. Skyla Thompson. Middle school dance teams place at various state dance competitions. Placing in the American All-Star Louisiana State Dance Team Championship, first in division and third overall for game day, second in division for jazz. At the Universal Dance Association Regional Competition, placing third in Palm. At the Dance Team Union Regionals, placing first in game day and third in jazz, the Harry Hurst Middle School Runnerettes. At the American All-Star Louisiana Dance Team Championship, first in division and overall state champion for jazz, first in division and third overall for Palm, first in division and third overall for hip hop, third overall for sweepstakes. At the UDA regional competition, placing second in hip hop, J.B. Martin Middle School Cougarettes.
I'd like to personally and on behalf of the school board congratulate all of tonight's recipients of awards. At this time, we will take a 2 or 3 minute break to allow any of you to leave if you would choose to do so. Thank you all very much for being here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back to order. The next item on the agenda is board minute meetings. Approve the minutes of the December 4th, 2023 Technology and Budget Committee review meetings, December 6th. Risk Management and Insurance meeting, December 11th, 2023. Committee meetings, and December 13th, 2023 board meeting as presented to the board.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the aforementioned minutes.
I second it.
Thank you, Mr. Suffren, and thank you, Mrs. Weber. Any discussion on those documents? If not, please cast your vote. The board meeting minutes are all approved. Next item on the agenda is 4.02, expulsion appeal of student number 1. Okay. The members of St. Charles Parish School Board met as an ad hoc committee on Monday, January 22nd, 2024, at the request of student number 1's mother to consider her request of the board to review the decision to expel student number 1 and the resulting sanctions. The members of the St. Charles Parish School Board need to consider and then act upon the recommendations of the ad hoc committee. Mr. John Smith was the chairman of the ad hoc committee. Mr. Smith, what's your recommendation? What's the recommendation?
Mr. President, as you indicated on last Monday, the board convened a appeal hearing in accordance with Louisiana Revised Statute 17416 to review the facts and circumstances related to the appeal by what we refer to as parent number 1 on behalf of what we refer to as student number 1. On the basis of the review of the facts and circumstances related to that appeal, I am, on behalf of the board, making a motion to uphold the decision of the superintendent in regard to that appeal.
I'll second.
Been motioned by Mr. Smith, second by Mr. O'Quain. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor, well, please cast your vote. Favorable or disfavorable? That motion is approved unanimously. Next item on the agenda is 4.03, cyber liability insurance renewal. This agenda item was reviewed at the Risk Management and Insurance Committee meeting of the board on Monday, January 22nd, 2024, and is aligned with Goal D of the board's strategic action plan.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the continuation of cyber liability insurance option 2 with Tokyo Marine as discussed in executive session on January 22nd, 2024.
Second.
Thank you, gentlemen. Is there any discussion? If not, please cast your vote. Cyber liability insurance renewal is unanimously approved. Next item on our agenda is employee voluntary benefits. This agenda item was reviewed at the Risk Management and Insurance Committee meeting of the board on Monday, January 22nd, 2024, and is aligned with Goal D of this board's strategic action plan.
Mr. President, I'll move that we approve Symetra as the carrier for critical illness, accident, and hospital insurance, and Transamerica as the carrier for whole life insurance.
Thank you, Mr. Suffren.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. O'Quinn. Any board discussion? If not, please cast your vote on this item. Oh, I'm sorry. Employee voluntary benefits are unanimously approved. Next item, 4.05, health insurance third-party administrator. This agenda item was reviewed at the Risk Management and Insurance Committee meeting of the board on Monday, January 22nd, 2024, and is aligned to Goal D of the board's strategic action plan.
Mr. President, I'll move that we approve United Healthcare, UMR, as a third-party administrator for health insurance at a projected cost of $2,862,952.
Thank you, Mr. Suffren.
I second.
Been motioned by Mr. Suffren, second by Mrs. Boudreau. Any discussion? If not, please cast your vote on the health insurance third-party administrator. .05, health insurance third-party administrator is unanimously approved. It brings us to item 4.06, renewal of health insurance plan. This agenda item was also reviewed at the Risk Management and Insurance Committee meeting on Monday, January 22nd, 2024, and is aligned to Goal D of the board's strategic action plan.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the Oshner Select Base Plan Option B at no employee rate increase, the High Option Plan with a 5% employee rate increase, and the HMO Plan with a 10% employee rate increase, and the UMR Clinical Driven Wellness Program at a projected cost of $32,714,655.
Thank you, Mr. O'Quinn. It's been motioned by Mr. O'Quinn, second by Mrs. Boudreau to renew our health insurance plan. Is there any board discussion? If not, please cast your vote. The renewal of health insurance plan is also unanimously approved. Our next item is 4.07, Medicare Advantage options. This agenda item was reviewed at the Risk Management and Insurance Committee meeting of the board on Monday, January 22nd, 2024, and is also aligned to Goal D of the board's strategic action plan.
Mr. President, I move that we approve exclusively offering the Medicare Advantage plan for Medicare eligible retirees beginning January 1st, 2025.
Thank you, Mr. O'Quinn.
Second.
Mr. Smith? It's been motion and second, and we have a request from a member of the audience, Mr. Jim Malone, to speak on this item. Mr. Malone, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Alexander, and members of the board. First of all, a couple of thank yous I'd like to give to y'all. Number one, I appreciate sincerely Dr. Ortling, Art O'Quinn, and Ray Gregson for coming to the hearing that they had for the retirees and allowing the retirees to state the concerns that they had. And also, I do appreciate the board in looking at the transition, putting it to January of 2025, when there'll be a change in the amount of the out-of-pocket for prescriptions. I know personally that would be a savings to our family of $6,000 under the plan. The only thing that I'd like to point out is one of the items that was stated by the risk manager, and I think Mr. O'Quinn also mentioned, was that there was a misunderstanding between the retirees on the plan and the fact that all of the doctors on the currently under the plan are on the new plan. I think the misunderstanding is they all have the opportunity to be on the plan, but it doesn't mean that all of those doctors choose to be on the plan. That's a big distinction, okay? Several retirees mentioned that they had 3 doctors that they use that are not on the plan. So what I'm asking, as you're making this decision, if you're being told that, every one of these retirees, their doctors are going to be on the plan, and in fact, you implement this and you have a backlash of all these retirees, most of whom chose to continue on this plan because of critical illnesses that they may have and doctors that they've used for years that may not be. I think it would be advantageous to use this time to allow the retirees to bring that plan to their doctors to find out if their doctors in fact do accept this plan. We've got plenty of time between now and when the plan is implemented. And what I would offer is I've talked with Billy Picard, who's in charge of the Retired Teacher Association, and we'd be happy to send a letter out to those 135 to ask them to take our specific board plan and bring it to their doctors to find out if their doctors are. If it's true that they're all on the plan, I have no problem with it. I really don't, okay? But I think it is incumbent to make an educated decision and make sure that you're getting the facts and that you understand what it could be an impact to the health and the lives of our retirees. I appreciate your time and I appreciate your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Malone, and thank you for representing the retirees. Any more discussion? If not, please cast your vote. Item 4.07, Medicare Advantage options, is unanimously approved. Next item on our agenda is renewal, 4.08, renewal of dental and vision insurance. This item was also reviewed at the Risk Management Insurance Committee on Monday, January 22nd, as also aligned with Goal D of the Strategic Action Plan.
Mr. President, I move that we approve Humana as the dental and vision insurance provider as a cost to be paid by the employees.
Thank you, Mrs.
Second.
Boudreaux. It's been motioned by Mrs. Boudreaux, second by Mr. Suffren. Any discussion? If not, please cast your vote on this item. The renewal of dental and vision insurance is also unanimously approved. That brings us to item 4.09, renewal of short-term disability, long-term disability, and group life insurance. This item was also reviewed at Risk Management and Insurance Committee meeting of the board on Monday, January 22nd, 2024, and is aligned with Goal D of the board's strategic action plan.
Mr. President, I move that we approve continuation of the Hartford as the carrier of the short-term disability, long-term disability, and group life insurance. Short-term disability paid by the employees, long-term and life at the cost of $132,641.
Thank you, Mrs. Boudreaux.
I'll second.
And a second by Mr. O'Quinn. Any board discussion? If not, please cast your vote. Renewal of short-term disability, long-term disability, and group life insurance is unanimously approved. And before we move on, I'd just like to give thanks to Mr. O'Quinn, who chaired that committee, along with the committee members, Mrs. Boudreaux and Mr. Suffren. Y'all put in a lot of hours, a lot of hard work, and I think everybody's going to be pleased with the results. And thank y'all very much for your dedication.
And thank you to USI for being with us every step of the way.
Thank you.
And our Director of Risk Management.
Yes,
Ms. Debbie
also
Oh, yes, and-
definitely
and
her as well.
everyone involved. Sorry. Thank you, Dr. Ortling. Next item on the agenda is contract renewal for lobbying services. This item was reviewed at the Legislative Committee meeting of the board on January 22nd, 2024, and is aligned with Goal F of the board's strategic action plan.
Mr. President, I move to renew the contract with Magnolia Strategic Consultants LLC for lobbying services for a period of 1 year at an investment of $60,000.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. Been motion and second to renew the contract with Magnolia Strategic Consultants LLC for the lobbying services for a period of 1 year. Any board discussion? If not, please cast your vote. The contract renewal for lobbying services is unanimously approved. Brings us to 4.11, request for proposals for waste management services. This item was reviewed at the Capital Improvements Committee meeting of the board on Monday, January 22nd, 2024, and is aligned with Goal E of the board's strategic action plan. What's the board's pleasure?
I move approval.
Motion by Mr. Smith, second by Mrs. Boudreaux. Any board discussion? If not, please cast your vote. Request for proposals for waste management services is unanimously approved. Next item is request for proposals for contracted custodial services. This agenda item was reviewed at the Capital Improvements Committee meeting of the board on Monday, January 22nd, 2024, and is aligned with Goal E of the board's strategic action plan.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the request for proposals for contracted custodial services at various sites.
Thanks, Mr. Gregson. Is there a second? Second by Mrs. Boudreaux. Any board discussion? If not, please cast your vote. That motion is unanimously approved to request proposals for contracted custodial services. Next item on our agenda is request for proposals for disinfecting program services. This agenda item was reviewed at the Capital Improvements Committee meeting of the board on Monday, January 22nd, 2024, and is aligned with Goal E of the board's strategic action plan.
Mr. President, I move that we authorize the request for proposals for disinfecting program services.
Thank you,
Second.
Mr. Who did the second? Motion by Mr. Gregson, second by Mr. Suffren. Any board discussion? If not, please cast your vote. That item, request for proposals for disinfecting services, is unanimously approved. Brings us to 4.14, bid acceptance for J.B. Martin Middle School elevator addition. This agenda item was reviewed at the Capital Improvements Committee meeting of the board on Monday, January 22nd, 2024, and is aligned with Goal E of the board's strategic action plan.
Mr. President, I move that we accept the lowest base bid submitted by Stallings Construction Company, Incorporated, for the J.B. Martin Middle School elevator addition project.
It's been motioned and second to accept the lowest base bid submitted by Stallings Construction Company, INC. Is there any board discussion? If not, please cast your vote. That item is unanimously approved, and that item is board acceptance of J.B. Martin Middle School elevator addition project. Next item on our agenda is bid rejection, central office renovation and expansion project. This item was reviewed at the Capital Improvements Committee meeting of the board on Monday, January 22nd, 2024, and is aligned with Goal E of the board's strategic action plan.
Mr. President, I move that we reject all bids for the St. Charles Parish School Board Central Office renovation and expansion project.
Thank you, Mr. Gregson. Second by Mr. Oquay. Is there any discussion? If not, please cast your vote on rejecting all bids. The board has unanimously agreed to reject all bids for the central office renovation project because the bids came in vastly over budget. Next item, personnel items. This agenda item was reviewed at the Personnel and Policy Committee meeting of the board on Monday, January 22nd, 2024, and is aligned with Goal C of the board's strategic action plan.
Mr. President, I move to receive the personnel items as presented to the board.
Second.
Thank you, gentlemen. Motion has been a motion and a second to receive the personnel items as presented to the board. Any board discussion? If not, please cast your vote. The personnel items are unanimously received by the board. Next item on the agenda, 4.17, accounts payable for the month of December 2023. This agenda item was reviewed at the Finance and Audit Committee meeting of the board on Monday, January 22nd, 2024, and is aligned with Goal D of the board's strategic action plan.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the accounts payable for the month of December 2023 in the total amount of $5,378,962.
A second.
It's been motioned by Mr. Gregson and second by Mrs. Boudreau to approve the accounts payable for the month of December 2023 in the amount of $5,378,962. Any board discussion? If not, please cast your vote. Accounts payable for the month of December 2023 is unanimously approved. That brings us to our closing item, standing committee meetings.
Mr. President, the Finance Committee meeting consisting of myself, Mr. Al Suffren, and Ms. Karen Boudreau. We met on Monday, January 22nd, 2024. We discussed one item, the accounts payable, which was just approved earlier this evening. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Gregson. Anyone else?
Mr. President, the Risk Management Insurance Committee met numerous times over the past month. I'd like to thank committee members, Mr. Al Suffren and Ms. Boudreau, but I'd also like to thank the entire board because we had multiple meetings, not only with staff, Ms. Gales, who represents the Risk Management Insurance, USI, but we've been through a lot. And but tonight we brought to the board table cyber liability renewal, employee voluntary benefits, health insurance from the third-party administrator, the renewal of the health insurance plan, selecting Medicare Advantage as our sole plan starting on January 2025, the renewal of dental and vision, and the renewal of short-term disability, long-term disability, and group life. So all those items were brought to the table tonight, and I want to thank the rest of the board for supporting us in those matters. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. O'Quinn. Anyone else?
Mr. President, the Personnel and Policy Committee consisting of myself, Mr. Cody, and Mr. Alexander held a meeting on Monday, January 22nd, and we covered 4 items. One item was on the agenda for the full board to consider during this meeting and was approved. That item was the personnel items were received as presented to the board. 3 other items were for committee discussion only. Those items were revisions to Policy 4.76, vacation, Policy 4.75, personal leave, and Policy 4.7.1A, sick leave. Also revisions to Procedure 4.6.10, employee discipline, and revisions to Procedure 4.13, non-Title IX, non-discriminatory complaints and grievances. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Suffren. The Capital Improvements Committee, consisting of myself as chair, Mr. John Smith, and Mr. Ray Gregson, met on Monday, January 22nd. We had 4 items on the agenda, and all 4 of those items were approved at tonight's meeting. Next item on the agenda is the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Each graduating high school senior in Louisiana Public High School is required, as part of his graduation plan, to complete either the free application for federal student aid, FAFSA, or complete and sign a parental non-participation form. To meet this graduation requirement, parents must either complete the FAFSA application located at FAFSA.gov or contact their child's school counselor at Destrain High School or Honville High School to complete the parental non-participation form. Additional questions regarding this Louisiana Department of Education graduation requirement can be answered by your child's school counselor or principal. The Title I Family Learning Center offers a high-quality, curriculum-based learning series anchored in Hegarty, CKLA, and Eureka Squared for children 4 and 5 years old who are not enrolled in a school. This kindergarten preparatory series will begin at the end of this month and occur every other week. The program is designed to build cognitive and academic foundational skills to prepare our students for kindergarten. This series of prep will be offered on both sides of the river. The East Bank site is St. Rose Elementary School, and the West Bank site is Luling Elementary School. Students entering kindergarten in August of 2024 are invited to participate in this program. Please see the district's website for further information. You can find the Family Center's link under the Services tab on top of the district's homepage. Mr. President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Orland.
I move to adjourn.
Been motion by Mrs. Boudreau, second by Mrs. Weber to adjourn this meeting. Any opposition? If none, meeting adjourned.